Hey guys, it's me T, coming at you with the video that I kind of had posted about on both Instagram and Facebook. And I really wanted to just create this video because I was like, this is really interesting, like what's coming up for me today. So not only do I want to do like reflective videos in terms of the video challenge that I'm having, but also or that I'm kind of experiencing. But it's so funny because there's just so much coming up today. And it's all beautiful. It's all really great stuff. And there's like so much that I discussed with my mom today, and that I kind of like verbalized with her, that I was thinking that I was like, this stuff like needs to be shared with the world. Like it was just so wonderful. So I'm the way that I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna like write down stuff that like I just kind of think of. This way I can speak about it because I really haven't like prepared. But I kind of also find that, and this is like part of the reason why I actually want to reflect on this, because I've realized that I really love imperfection, and I never freaking knew that about myself. Like I love it, and I'm loving it even more, right? I'm For the record, I'm literally gonna try to like, if my eyes keep on moving, I mean, listen, I can't like control my eyes. Like I can by saying like look at the camera, but sometimes I feel like when I'm talking to like myself, like when I'm seeing myself and I'm talking to myself, like I know you guys can feel it. Like it's more so like I'm talking to another person. I'm not really like, checking myself out. I'm not being like, because it's not even, I know that deep down inside, and this is something that I've also shared with, people as I'm commenting, because, there's a certain process that you go through in terms of this, in terms of being a part of this group in this video challenge with Melissa Groom, that you have to kind of give feedback, and I've realized through my video making, but also my feedback, that like we just, so all of us have so much in common that it's amazing. um I'm sorry, also my like contacts are starting to dry up. I have no idea why, but that tends to happen. um so yeah, and like honestly, and it's so funny because like we have to do 2-minute videos, and I get like, like I'm like, what do I say? Like I have no idea. And because I feel like 2-minute video is a total, it's totally like it's such a challenge, and it's so fun. I really feel like I have something in my eye, and I feel like you can see it, but like whatever, fuck it. So yeah, so like the whole thing is, I just like discussions. I like afterthought discussions. I think it's fucking awesome. I think that there's so much learning to come from it, and that's why I kind of felt like, what, this might be a really cool process, like for the next 30 days. So yeah, so like today I was talking to my mom, and I was just talking to her about like everything. I was at the park, so there was like a lot of flow. Like there was movement, there was flow, there was like so many beautiful signs. Like I got this one sign today from, like, there was this woman walking, and I saw her bag, and she had a black canvas bag with white writing on it, and I was like, oh my god, this is like perfect yin yang. Like this is a delivery from the divine, and I fucking love it. And I was basically like, and the message was even more powerful. Check this out. It said, two souls, one mind. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, wow, mom. I was like, you gotta really, I was like, I gotta tell you this message, because I'm like, this is amazing. Because it's like, and it's so powerful that I feel like only a few understand it. Like you could definitely interpret it whichever way you want, but I think like a lot of people, I mean, may or may not interpret it in a spiritual form. I don't know how else you can interpret it, like other than spiritual, but that's I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm like, maybe I'm not even like concerned with that, not because that's not who I am, right? So, um, but also like because I just feel like spirituality makes things so much more better and meaningful. So it's like, why go the other route? Like there's no fucking reason to. So anyhow, so I was like, wow, that's amazing, because like it was it basically had taught me that this is how my mind connected it. It was just like, two souls, so you have two souls, right? One soul, two souls, one mind. So that means that's like a soulmate status of sorts, where it's like literally two souls, one mind. But it's also you, right? It's also you because you have a male and a female in you, and you have the person above that literally delivers, right? And it's also really cool because it's like the Lover's card in tarot is displays that really well, like where it's like male and female, and then like, you know, there's that trio, you know, and they connect into one, which is fucking beautiful. That's what everybody's looking for. But I so much so felt like this was all about my inner balance, right? That it's just like there's a completion there and there's a connection there, you know, a completion and connection. You know what, I might as well just write these, you know, the ahas down too. Because that's also a part of, you know, what can be taught in the future. And also, you know, and I actually like writing it down for my own personal self-mastery, because of the fact that sometimes when I say something, or even when other people say something, like it resonates with me for a reason, and there's something more to learn about that there, or there's something, and not just for myself, but it's more so to learn about myself through what I just said or expressed that really resonated with me, to then share it further with somebody else who can literally see that in themselves. So it's like a mirror image, right? And that's it, and it's like you're just projecting it out there. You're shining it bright out loud to you know, other people. So yeah, so it's like, so that's why it's like so funny, because a lot of people think that, you know, self mastery is so, you know, people think that it's like, oh, it's you know, it's selfish. And I'm like, actually it's funny, because I'm like, it is selfish to a certain degree. You have to get to that selfishness part, because there is, and this is again going into exactly what I was talking to my mom about today, is that there is a selfishness is a self-care, and once you have that in a healthy way put into place for yourself, you can care for so many others after that, because you will understand what it takes for you to care about yourself. You will have that experience behind you before you can do it for somebody else. Okay, so here's the thing. I was explaining it to my mom just this way. I said, you cannot expect to be authentic in yourself without your own self-care, right? It just makes sense. And in terms of two souls, one mind, there is that. It's you, it's your self-care, and it's that one mind connected, right? And this is the thing also, like if that didn't make sense, I'm going to try to make more sense out of it. Let's say you have you know, anything. You have, let's take a trash can for example, because there's different ways that we're going to use this trash can. So you can either yeah, there's definitely so many ways we're going to use the trash can right now. Okay, so trash can example, there's like 3 ways that I'm probably going to use. All right, so one way, when you have a trash can, people think, oh, trash, it goes in there, fuck it. People don't even put fucking trash bags in their trash can, which pisses me off, because that's fucking disgusting. And then at the end of the day, it fucking creates way more work than you really should have put into, just by putting a fucking trash bag into it, right? Because it's fucking disgusting, because it's gonna collect over time, and it's gonna smell, it's gonna fucking be nasty, right? And it's gonna mold or whatever. So you have those negative effects. Then you have the fact that it's just uncleanliness, but it's disrespect to the trash can, right, itself. Like, you actually are supposed, like, when you're grateful, you will take care of stuff, even your trash, to the highest degree, you know? Like, for instance, like, you know, and I'm talking about even your indoor and outdoor trash cans. Let's just be real about that, because your outdoor trash cans, just because they're outdoors, doesn't mean they have to be fucking disgustingly dirty. Like, I'm pretty sure that, and if you're lucky, you'd see this, because maybe a majority don't give a shit, right? But the whole thing is, I'd be the person that, like, either keeps the trash fucking, like, actually clean, but also the interior in it clean. Like, I just have to make sure that the interior is clean, and like, and it doesn't have to be crazy clean. Like I'm not like anti-back and let's fucking do it. No, it's at the end of the day, it's a fucking trash can for a reason, right? But the whole thing is, keep it neat, keep it because you're grateful for it, because you show the universe that wow, you've been provided for, right? And so that's the whole thing. And so like I like I was telling my mom today. Yeah, it's funny. I was like literally using the trash can like as an example all fucking day today. So like then we have these chairs that I was like and I don't know if I even want to go fully into it because it's not that big of a deal, but like um maybe I'm not even gonna go into it, let's put it that way. But so then so my whole thing is, it's like, yeah, so indoor outdoor trash cans, it's like your outdoor trash cans, it's kind of like, it's gross too to just fucking put like disgusting like anything leaking in the trash can and whatever. Like that's in both trash cans, it just makes fucking sense. Like it just makes sense. And the whole thing is, people are just fucking lazy to not do it, and that's the whole thing. But when you're grateful for everything, when you care about a lot of stuff, you have the will to just like do stuff. And the whole thing is, if you can get it into your mind to actually invest more time and effort, or whatever you want to call it, like whatever resources are within you that you can fucking put towards taking care of something in the beginning, and I'm talking about like positive resources, then invest them. Invest the 100%, because at the end of the day, you're going to find out that there's going to be so much more that comes out of it in terms of an easier life, like easier maintenance. You're going to get into a system that flows. There's going to be harmony. It's going to be fucking divine. What was I gonna say? So okay, so trash can, taking care of it. I don't like this video is gonna be all over the fucking place. But so my whole thing is, I'm like trying to get back to where I was, and you know what? Maybe fuck it. Like that's, and again, I'm gonna probably be weaving in and out, because I was gonna say that doing these videos, it gets me a little crazed to even think that I'm gonna have to structure them a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying? But I know that I need it, because I want to be able to deliver. I want to be able to deliver concise and complete ideas, and have them be focused, because focused is actually, it's so funny, because I feel like I'm so focused in my day-to-day life that I feel as though when I come on the videos, I'm just like blah, like you guys are like my friends, and I'm just like talking, and no one's really like no one's like not talking back to me, but like more so like there's no conversation here. So I'm just like putting out whatever my mind puts out, and it's like my creative flow, right? So that's why I'm like, I actually, just by even saying that, I'm like, woo, I'm like, actually, I felt a release on that, because of the fact that it's like, I'm not judging myself that I need to be a certain way, because at the end of the day, it's fucking my video, and I want to do what I want with the videos, you know what I'm saying? And another thing that came up for me too in the videos is like, so that's intimidating. The part in terms of me having to structure it, but also having some sort of set rules when I don't even freaking like rules. Like I like structure, so I really appreciate it, but it gets in my way in terms of my freedom sometimes. Like when somebody else gives it to me, put it that way. Because I know that out of my self-mastery, I've realized, and I've said it to me before, and also I think Capricorns are like this, is that they don't like authority. So when they're given, like a structured, like, here's the rule book, you're like, okay, I'm gonna read it, because it's like fun work for me to do. Not really, but like we do it because we like information, right? Or at least I think we do. But I like information. I'm definitely an information type of, like, I love to take in all the information that I can. And because there's such creativity in all of the ideas that you're even given, even in something so, what seems to be so dry and structured, it's like, wow, it like opens your mind to a different world, I mean, I'm not gonna say fucking I like to sit here and read contracts. Like I don't like that kind of reading, but I read everything else, like in terms of whatever interests me. And that's another thing I was talking to my mom today about, like how interesting it is, because I feel this also might go back to the trash can thing, but I feel that you can't really find passion, right? You cannot really know. Some people are born with knowing their passion, so that's fucking cool. Some people are actually born with passion and not happy with what they have, so they ignore it for a long time, and then they want to develop something else, which can happen. But my whole thing is take the fucking easier route, at least for a little bit, and then like shift in terms of what it is, you know? Because at least at the end of the day, when you have a strong skill, like your skill is going to take you places. So like people want that. But sometimes I've noticed too, like even with myself, like I have so many different skills, and I have so many different, like I have certifications even in those skills. But the whole thing is, it's like I've realized that I'm like, I'm not about them right now. Like I just don't want to, because I feel like maybe I've already put like such stigma around them that they're supposed to be a business and they're supposed to be structured and they're supposed to be serious, and I'm like, I don't fucking want to do that. So here's my YouTube video, here's my here's what I where I get to play, and then see where that takes me in terms of, do I actually want to do, real estate? Do I actually, I mean, I am bringing, it's so funny because I'm like, I am bringing all of this knowledge to you if I want to. I'm not like not limiting myself, and I do bring a lot of feng shui to the table too, which I absolutely love. It's just in a different way that other people would not think of, which is I'm happy with, because of the fact that I actually want to be doing something out of the ordinary. And you'd think that like feng shui, for instance, is enough out of the ordinary for me to kind of like be cool with it, but it wasn't. Like I was just like, because I'd be doing it already. Like I'd be like, yes, let's go, let's do it. But there wasn't like passion in it. Like there wasn't, like, and I actually, it's funny because I feel like when I do my videos, I have so much passion, and because there's so much freedom, then I can literally bring whatever it is, especially my experiences. Like experiences rock my world, and I'm talking about like diamond-esque rock my globe. Like I have like my globe, like my face, my head. No, but I'm saying like it's just they rock my world. I love living my, day in, day out, doing it on my terms, but also, just living to live and then to like teach about it, Like, I think that's so much more, that's like fun for me. And then I get to apply it in terms of balanced yin yang living, because that's basically how I live harmoniously and effortlessly and easily and just joyously. You know what I'm saying? More also on the simplified, in a simplified way, um, what else was I gonna say? So I was telling my mom, I was like, yeah, it's so funny because I'm like, and maybe that could like, maybe that goes back to when people say, oh yeah, you just need to challenge, like, you just need to be courageous enough to go out and gain the experience and then get passion for it. And I'm like, that's so true. I mean, there is a truth to that, but there's also not so truth to that. Do you get what I'm saying? Because like sometimes, like for instance, if I took my certification in real estate, and if I, sometimes I think that that's like not a smart thing. I'm like, oh, maybe that's not so smart. But you know what's even more smart to me is listening. Like that came up to me for me today, where I was like, damn, should I really be doing real estate right now? Like sometimes I like question myself, but I'm like, no, because I have literally followed my intuition, and my intuition led me here to where I am, and I need to accept that, and I need to not so much should all over myself. I took that from, I think, Wayne Dyer. And and so yeah, either that or Abraham Hicks. But like the whole thing is, it's one of those things where it's just like, it's so I have these certifications. I thought I was going to go through with them. I haven't yet, but I'm not sad about it. Like I'm just more, maybe the process did lead me to a certain sadness where I was just kind of like, damn, I really wish I would have liked that more, or I really wish I would have done more of that, up until now. But I have been doing that just in a different way. You know what I'm saying? And if I haven't been doing that, then I've been doing what was more important, for for this time frame, for whatever I needed to do it for. Like I don't know. Sometimes you don't even know like what you're doing, like especially when you have like a kid essence to you. Sometimes you're just like in the zone of your life and you don't know what it is you're doing it or why you're doing it. You're just doing it because you're flowing, you're being led there. So my life is like a pure flow, and I think that's why I love to teach. Like I love being a life advisor and a life like experienced life, like a life experiencer, and discover like all of what it has to show me, because I learned from it and I'm able to like spit it back out in terms of like just remembering it, because I do. Um I want to, remember the lessons so that I don't have to like learn them again in this life or in the next life. And so that's what I'm saying. Like it's definitely something that I'm not like I was before. Even today I was like a little like, I guess, in a regret, but I was like, no, right away I was like, no, T, you have to understand that you go by your intuition. And so, and that's again a little reason also why I'm a little intimidated about this challenge, is because, like, first of all, I never liked tests, right? Like, and but thank God tests don't exist in my world anymore. It's a key, keys. They're all keys, so they unlock different things, and I have to be able to be courageous enough to go after the keys in my life, right? So, and if a key comes into my life, I have to be courageous enough to be like, what first of all, thank you for coming into my life. Second of all, thank you for offering a key into my life in terms of what I need to learn more of, in terms of where I need to kind of gain more from, like in terms of skills and just learning and experience. um and what was I gonna say? So yeah, so like I kind of, yeah, I get like sidetracked because like I become like a total kid and I love it. So I feel like sometimes when somebody else gives me like an authoritative structure of sorts, I kind of just like, I'm kind of like, oh God, like I really don't want to do it. But at the same time, it's like a push that no, I'm really appreciative for this experience and I'm going to do it. Like I'm definitely going to do it. Even if I have to apologize for being so like maybe unprofessional of sorts, but not even like, because I apologized to at the beginning to the teacher, because I was like, to the teacher, to the leader of the group, to be like, listen, I'm really sorry if it's going to take me a little time to adjust, because I do get a little crazy when it comes to like new things. Like it takes me a second to adjust. Doesn't mean that it absolutely doesn't mean that I'm stupid. Even though sometimes in the past I really thought that I was like, oh my God, this person's gonna really fucking find me like a crazy person, because I get like, I get so like wild, like wild in the sense of like just like kind of, I guess I want to say in the past, people pleaser. um because you want to get things right, and you want to you want to be effective for this person, and you want to show them that you are grateful, and you want everything right there, right then, and right now. But sometimes it's like you just have to just be open to the process of you growing. um so I was telling my mom, it's funny because I'm like, so I just learned that today about passion. It was like a total download of me processing it out loud, where passion really, it comes from listen, it doesn't come from experience. That like I think when people say like when you're thrown into an experience, yeah, you can definitely gain experience in that sense too. But the best experience is, what does your heart have experience in? That is the best experience. That's exactly what you want to drive you. Like, and because the whole thing is, that's why I say, like, if you have a skill set, it's like your heart contains that skill set already. It's natural. Drive that shit. Like, drive it. Even if your mind is like, nah, I'm not, like, whatever, drive it. Like, and that might be even counteracting what I'm saying in terms of my feng shui and my in terms of my the real estate license that I have, and just like, and like the angel card readings that I do. Like, I like doing those things, don't get me wrong, but there's something, it's just even more funny. It's like there's something about those things that are there, they exist in my world, I appreciate them fully, But I can tell you right now, they don't get me up in the morning. Like I'm not like, woohoo, I have to, like I'm excited to do these things. Like I'm not there yet with that. I may not ever be, but I will have them available to me. Yeah, definitely. Like okay, so for instance, like my cards that I do each morning, my cards are definitely in my life. Like they are. Each morning I turn to them. They are my, they're my guidance. I like them, and I connect, and they're my spirituality because I get to kind of connect better, and I get to kind of see my guidance, every day in terms of um, what I need to kind of like, or what's about to happen in my beautiful world. I always ask, what's going to beautifully unfold in my world today? Because I just kind of want to know, like, what am I like? What is there to look forward to today? That's like sometimes it's a huge thing. Like today, for instance, oh my God, I had such a hard time getting up this morning, and I was like, damn, this is crazy. Like I'm like really at the wit's end of and I'm definitely coming to some sort of closure, that's for sure, especially with this the solar eclipse that's happening on August 21st. Holy shit, like I feel like I'm feeling the effects of it already, because like for the past like 2 days I've been dreaming like a mofo, and I'm talking about, like, talk about work. Like if I'm not working throughout the day, because it doesn't seem to me that way, but yet I feel like I am doing work, like I'm applying myself towards my life. I'm getting up every day. I'm like doing what I can do in terms of create, which is awesome. Like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for this time where I get to create, and may it always be that way because I intended it. Like, I put an intention out there where I was like, I intend for my life to be a fucking vacation, like where I'm so excited to come to it every day, and I feel relaxed in terms of what I'm doing, and not so much like I have to show up for somebody today. No, I want to be able to show up for me every day. You know what I'm saying? And then show up for somebody else, whether it be, my divine life spiritual partner, which some people call soulmates, or my family, or my clients, or like the humankind in the world. Like I always pray for those things, but like the thing is, it's like if I'm not here, and if I'm not on my good ass, like in a good ass energy aspect of myself, then how am I supposed to fucking help somebody else, right? This is why I literally was telling my mom today that I think it's funny. This morning I got this sign through a song that just made me bawl my fucking eyes out because I was feeling so much of it. Uh, where I'm gonna go back to the dreams in a second, that I was having. Um, but I literally, so it was the song JoJo's Dear No One, I think it's called. Holy shit, that one, I was like bawling, and I was like, wow, this is like such a great song to hear right now. And it was so divinely guided because it came to me. It was like, look up JoJo's music, because it came into my world like a day or two ago. And I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna do that. And then I went in and I was like, this is why I had to listen to it. And which makes it so magical, right? And so thank you, 18, because they just flickered the lights. It was powerful. And and by the way, in case you don't know, when lights flicker when you say something, that means that spirit is with you, and spirit is confirming that what you're saying is right. So thank you. I'm ultra grateful. That is my happy medium coming out. I mean, that's what it is. But so talking about what I was just saying is, I had looked at the song's title to see what it was, and right next to the title was, and it said remastered in parentheses, and I was like, wow, that's so interesting. That word is so freaking powerful, because I was just saying the other day, yesterday, in my day one of my video challenge, I was just saying that I have a business. It's a self mastery business, right? And I was telling everybody about it in terms of like where I feel like it's gonna be, or how I think it's gonna pan out. And they were like, and so you know, like where I think it was headed in a sense. And when I saw this like remastered, like the word remastered on it, I was like, damn, that is powerful, especially right now when we're in Mercury retrograde, where you want to everything. So recreate, remaster, review, readjust, like all those rewords is what you want to utilize, you know? Um, Revisit, rejuvenate, relax. Like, I mean, it's all of that, you know. So, and then when you're doing that, you're in the right direction. When it pops up in your world, you're on a better fucking route. That's how I say it. It's like beautiful because it's just kind of like, oh shit, this is what I need to do. So, you know, so when that came up for me, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to look into it, which is actually really what I need to look into because I just want to see, like, you know, let's see what the definition of that is. And then I can kind of brainstorm in terms of how that is, right? That's like my process. I just kind of go there. I like play around with words. Um, and so long story short, what was I going to say? So I was telling my mom about the remastery, and I said, "Oh, this is what I told her." I said, "I think that my self mastery is being remastered. It's going through this process of being remastered into self love, and or into teaching self love, because I think." And the way that I'm saying that is like through my business. Like I thought my business was self mastery, but it's actually being remastered and it's going to be into self love, right? So it's like it's being like so there's this transition that it's going through that that I was like that I wasn't aware of, and but I was aware of how freaking important it was today in terms of, you know, what I may have just shared before, what I may not. But on my walk, I saw this woman, and she had had a black canvas bag, and it said, oh, I might have just freaking shared this. I don't know. I'm like sure I yeah, I think I might have shared this on Instagram. I don't fucking know. So the woman had a black canvas bag, and in white lettering on the canvas bag said, "Two souls, one mind." And I was like, "Holy shit!" And I even complimented her, and I was like, you know, I was like, "Thank you." I was like, "I love your bag. Thank you so much for that message," you know. And she was like, "Oh yeah, no problem." Like she was like, but I was like, but it was powerful, you know. And this is how it was powerful because yin and yang living, that's what I do, right? Black and white shows up black and white in my world. It's like feng shui, beautiful, you know what I'm saying? It's like instantaneous. My mind went there. Then my mind went to how again what I was like, what I had described to you, and I think I literally just described this to you with the yeah. So I'm just not going to go there, but like, so my whole thing is from what I described before to what that really meant. When you really break it down, I chose to really look at this from a self love aspect where, you know, sorry, that's exactly, yo, I'm like a fish, literally. It's so funny because I'm like, I just mentioned it. And so, and I forgot that I did. But like, what I'm saying is, I choose from today going forward to really look at my self mastery as a self love business. And that's what it is. I'm in the business of self love. And when you do that, it's like serving God. It's two souls, which is his soul, my soul, in one mind, right? So as I take care of my mind, it's basically I'm taking care of his mind, right? And that's what people need to understand is just that self mastery is literally taking care of, it's self-care. People just don't realize it. So it's so much self-care that yes, it may look like you are selfish, but the thing is, you have to do that. You have to do that to show up for people better. I'm like, hold on, let me take a drink. Sorry. So, and people don't realize it because I was telling my mom, like, so, like, there was definitely a reroute back to the trash can example. Fuck, I don't know. But like the whole thing is, you know, I was telling her that, you know, oh, this is what I was telling her is that This is why you need self-love, because if you weren't selfish or had self-love for a little amount of time, and it maybe it might go on for like years. Like maybe I would have been selfish for years. Maybe that's the sacrifice that I needed to make for myself. That that people were gonna look at me as selfish. So and not even realizing it, right? Like I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna have to be selfish for many years, right? I didn't notice it until people starting to have a problem with it. But at that point, I already was just kind of like, well, I have to. Like this is part of my business. Like if you don't understand the importance of it, I can't make you understand it. It's just because you don't understand my journey. But that's okay. So thank God I was already at that point when people started kind of like letting me know about it this way. I can handle the criticism of it, which was again such a beautiful such a beautiful realization that I'm coming to. Even right now as I speak about it, I'm like, wow, what a blessing. um so I told my mom, I was like, like, but also I had to be that because of the fact that I'm like, I can't tell people what to do with their lives or how to be happy if I am not living it on my own. You know what I'm saying? Like there is a like, for instance, there is no you can okay, the credibility that people are trying to build with other people is literally through how you function, right? And the thing is, I don't even know what I mean when I say that. I just mean that, my credibility, I knew, I guess, subconsciously, is that I had to go this selfish route to become self mastered, to then become self love, for me to teach self love, right? And because you can't really teach self love if you don't show up for yourself every day, and if you don't show up in terms of like getting up out of bed and putting makeup on and brushing your teeth, and all these little things that where I say that love is in the details. It absolutely is, but your process needs you to become aware of these things, right? And so, I was telling my mom, I was like this is where we're going back to the trash can right now. I was like, because I told her, I swear I used this example. I mean, it's such a ridiculous example, but I was like, Mom, that's like basically telling somebody to go, oh, was it? I can't remember how I used it, but I'm gonna use it in a different way or in the same way if I remember how I used it. Where I was like telling her, I was like, if you're not taking out your own trash, right? And if the neighbors are fucking seeing that you're not taking out your own trash or whatever, not that you're here to people please anybody, but there's awareness that exists, right? Then I was like, imagine you were to go over to your neighbor and being like, take out your trash. Like, you should take out your trash on Tuesdays or whatever, And this guy turns around and he's like, yo, what the fuck? You don't even fucking take out your trash ever, and you're telling me to take my trash out on fucking Tuesdays. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is audacity, right? So what I'm trying to say is, I don't ever want that to fucking happen, because that credibility is fucking huge to me. Like, if I'm speaking something, it's because there's a passion that comes from me because I've experienced it, or I've seen it somewhere, and I'm like, no, that shit's true, dude. Like, I can't, like, I've seen it happen in front of my eyes. Like, that can happen, And so there's a credibility that I like to stick to, that is a part of my self-love, because I've been giving myself so much fucking truth, and I've been feeding myself so much fucking truth all of these years, and seeing the truth for what it is, and seeing it on a bigger scale and on a smaller scale, and and being able to process these things so that I can teach other people, and I can also teach myself, like, because that's, if I haven't taken this in and then processed it and then applied myself to making myself better, I wouldn't have become a self-master, right? It just makes it I wouldn't have mastered my own life, right? And I'm talking about self-mastery internally, because everybody's expecting you to be, when you're talking about self-master, you should be a master on the outside. But guess what, guys? Self-mastery starts from the inside, and you cannot become a basically you're only going to become a self master at either your insides or your outsides when you start to make money. Put it that way. That's what it is. So it's just kind of like you don't see, and maybe that also could be a lie in a sense, because if you were to take it like, oh well, no, this guy hasn't fucking mastered himself, because there are people out there that are making a lot of money without self mastery. But guess what? If you look at them as people, they're either unhappy or they're shitty people. And it's like, I never wanted to be one of those people, and I don't want, and or inauthentic. So that, and you're unhappy because you're inauthentic, right? So it just makes sense as to why I was led down this entire path, not knowing why the fuck, what's going on, what the fuck. I had one vision in my mind, and it didn't even fucking come true yet, and it's like, what the fuck ever. But guess what did come true is I may not have what I expected, but I have so much fucking more better, and I have so much more valuable like essence to me that I've never imagined for myself ever, 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 ever. And and not only that, but I've myth busted. Like this entire time I was fucking fighting, and I was myth busting, and I will continue to do that, because that's also a part of self-care. It's like, you need to take out the trash in your own fucking mind every day, and you need to not let in stupid ass trash that you have to, at the end of the day, sift through, right? Like, you need to have an organized mind, a structured mind, where you literally have, this is my recycling bin, this is my shredder bin, this is my shredder bin. Okay, recycling bin. You have, what do you have? Garbage. You have fucking plastics, and you have like paper. Well, recycling is all that, but you know what I'm saying. Like, you just, there's a system in place in your mind that everything has a home, and once you're done with it, it needs to be fucking purged. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a time and a place where it needs to be purged. So it's like, the whole thing is, and the self-mastery of it all is for you to basically guard your mind. And I love going back to Gandhi's fucking, one of my, he's literally, it makes sense. One of my favorite quotes is, do not think, or do not step inside of my mind with your dirty feet. And you're damn fucking right, because and I've said that before in one of my videos, if I fucking clean those floors, and if I fucking put that work into it, you know what it takes. You know that you will guard it with your fucking heart, your life, your energy, and that's where your energy is going to be focused, right? It's going to be focused at that self-mastery. Like, keep that shit fucking organized, clean, focused, just, and you're gonna guard it. You're gonna guard it, and that's what's gonna happen. And people might think you're a fucking bitch because of it, but whatever. The real reason as to why you're doing it. No one else has to know. You don't have to explain yourself in that way. It's just that you're doing it, and I know that I'm doing it for the aspect of the people that I'm going to be helping in terms of for the long haul, which is it's YouTube. It's like, it's where I can reach the most amount of people with what I am able to share in terms of my life experience, and I feel as though, like, for me, it's so interesting. Like, just all of it is so interesting when you really look at it from like a smaller and bigger perspective, and like, there's just and a creative perspective, and like the possibilities, and it just gets me like wowed by it all, but the whole thing is, it's like, so that's where I'm going with it all. And I've really so before, I was coming from okay, let's think about the possibilities of where I could be heading, and so that's where my certificates came into play or whatever. But like, I knew at the end of the day, I'm like, I need to be authentic with who I am, because that's exactly where my genuine happiness lies. But also along the way, and thank God I was raised this way, is because my mom really did help me out. But also, Capricorns are like this, where like, we like our structure, we like our organization, we like we like to have things together, at the end of the day. And And maybe not, maybe that's not in us. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it all depends on our levels of, our levels of self-care, and and what we're taught and what's important to us and things like that. It all, there's so many different factors that could happen, but I'm one of those that, I was born with, to a mom rather, that really, she's an angel, by the way. I fucking love my mom. No matter what she does, like sometimes she does like crazy shit where I'm like, why the fuck are you doing that? Like, because she doesn't have this self awareness, but like, or not the self awareness, because she's all about like a little kid and she's like playing, and like, little kids like don't. I don't think they have self awareness. They just go. They just do, and it's just and it's fine. You know what I'm saying? But they have to kind of be explained to sometimes, where I end up being her teacher in this life, where she didn't want to hear it at first because there was like an ego, side to her, where she's like, she's the mom and she should know it all by this age and whatever. But then it's like it was like a role reversal. But then I realized that I was being coming down on her as like a tough mom, and I was like, does it really need to be that way? Like, no, it doesn't. Like, and so we had a little bit of a, like, like she didn't like how I was doing this life. I didn't like how she was doing this life, like how we were talking to each other, because I can't like turn off my teachings. Like, when if I talk to somebody, it's like literally going to be quality all the time, and you might just fucking get pissed off because you want to joke around and stuff. But I'm like, that doesn't mean I turn off my joking around. I fucking just live a better jokester life than than with people, because like literally I get to live like that because I regulate my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really do. So like, and I know where to draw the line, for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I love fucking coloring outside of the lines. Like, fuck it. Actually, I was never one of those kids. I fucking was meticulous about my lines. I was like, I needed to be inside my lines, and I needed to be like bold inside of my lines. Like, at the edge, that shit needed to be like legit. And but actually, it's really funny because a yin yang teaching is, I actually just saw this image the other day. It was like 3 on one side and 6 on the other, like right across from one another. And in that wave is like, at the edge is like the 9, which is 369. That's why, well, it's not why, but it's like it depicts, the really the important numbers in feng shui, but also in life in general. Like, they really are, in Kabbalah, they're really powerful. In Nikola Tesla's like 369 theory, it's like really powerful. So I was always like that bold. I always made my edges really bold, and I always, like, even like ever since recently, I've always said like, I'm gonna live on that line. Like, so when it comes down to it, like, I want to live where my my home spot would be. I want to live like right at the edge of, like, sea, and or ocean and land. Like, I want to have, like, I want to be right at that edge, because it's the 9, and that 9 is, it's where you transform. I think it's where the two worlds meet. It's where my happy medium is. It's the balance. It's just everything. Like, even as I'm talking about it, I can cry because I love it there. I love being the happy medium, and by that I also mean, the medium in terms of mediumship, because I feel, even through my, I think that's why my dreams are so powerful. Like, I'm telling you guys, for the last couple of days, like, talking about remastered, like, I felt like my brain was being repurposed and remastered by the A team, and God, because when I've been sleeping for the past 2 days, I feel like as if I'm working and I'm doing my mediumship work through there, where I get up and I'm fucking exhausted, and I'm just like, I need to go back to bed, but I also need to do like human stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and that's why I'm so grateful for having this, for having this, ability to chat with you guys at any given time, whenever the passion and the, motivation hits me, or it is a passion, I guess, passion when it hits you, but inspiration is what I was looking for. Inspiration, when the inspiration hits me, like, I can, like, literally make a video at any time. So, it's just, that's why I'm so grateful. I really am so grateful that things are so working out. And and today I just, so all those things kind of intertwined with one another, that I was like, wow, this is so amazing, something's telling me to touch upon this other example that I was telling my mom today, because this is a true teaching too, in terms of like self self love and self. Let me see if I'm going. Okay, I just want to. Fuck it. I hope you just stay there. um, yeah, something's telling me to like go into it. So today I was like on the phone with my mom, like I was saying, and we were like, and it hit me too, where I was like, we literally, like, I never even had an hour conversation with my mom, and today is the day where I literally got off the phone and said like hour or something conversation with my mom, and I was like, holy shit, we really have been talking the entire time though. Like how beautiful how beautiful things have transpired between us is amazing, because I'm telling you, like when I was younger, like it was, it's interesting because I had adapted um this mindset from the authoritative figure in my life, but also the quote unquote leader in my life, the authoritative leader in my life, which was my father, And I realized that for a long time, since my father had certain, like, he listen, everybody's like human. They're gonna love. They're gonna weave in and out. The end all goal is to love somebody unconditionally, which is the damn truth. Actually, I choose to love myself unconditionally, and again, that's where I can give this self mastery on an even better remastered level of self love, right? So if that makes any sense, so like it's just I'm coming into my own self love, so that I can actually teach more, but also I can love more, And so going back into it, like I came from where I've noticed that, because of my self awareness, I've noticed that I didn't give my mom, and hopefully this helps you guys too, because the earlier on you are able to become aware of it, the better you are in terms of how to, you're doing it, so you're gonna change it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like maybe not right now, maybe not today, but over time it's gonna be changed, because the self-awareness, oh my gosh, my phone fell asleep. The self-awareness gets into your brain, and it like literally unwinds, like it's like it's not no longer a tight coil, it like just unwinds, and it gives like this rebirth to to like a new, to a better, brighter, and more effective side to things. So here's what I'm saying. So like when I was younger, I used to like take my dad's side a lot, on like towards, like I could see how he like kind of observed or saw, or even like thought things about my mom, and that were like, he was more looking at her weaker side of her, and he was like annoyed by her, like super annoyed, like, why do you do this, blah blah blah, and I'd be like, yeah, I was like, yeah, why does she do that? And I would just be like on his side, because it's kind of like, you want to, I guess, I don't know why, it's like you want to fit in, but you're also, he has like outpowered everybody else, so you're just kind of like, he's right, and you've never like put two thoughts to it, so you're just kind of like, all right, I'm just gonna go with, and I was like daddy's girl, so like of course, I would kind of be like, yeah, you're right, and like sometimes, and it's funny because sometimes it's fucked up, because your family is also people too at the end of the day. Just make sure that you know that, because I found myself sometimes like talking shit about my mom. Meanwhile, like not talking shit, more so like siding with my father on the stuff that he would be like, your mom always does that. Ah, fuck, and you'd be like, yeah, she does always does that. And then you like, like that type of shit talking, like not like negative, but it is negative, like at the same time, like, because if you were just to love unconditionally, you would actually embrace it with a better aspect of yourself, towards it, and you would just embrace it unconditionally, and you'd be like, you know what, I love her, like who cares, like, and that's where it would end, like no drama talking, no bitching, no fucking complaining, it would just, no fighting even, how about that, no fighting, And and so that's where it would end. So that's why I'm actually about no drama. I never was, and thank God, because that's literally helped me come into this unconditional love for myself and for others, because I never allowed myself to go there. Like, it would just be stupid, um uh, and I don't fucking need that shit. I don't like how it feels. I don't fucking put it out there. And if it comes at me, that's somebody else's problem, because I know I don't talk shit. Like, sometimes I talk about people in terms of learning, like in terms of like using them as an example in a good or way or a bad way. But there's an energy level there that you can actually feel into, whether or not if it's being used in a teaching way or a judgmental and fucked up and just like harmful and like not so good feeling way. You know what I'm saying? So that, use your discernment, guys. Like, and you're allowed to just be like, no, I don't feel like being a part of this, because I literally would do that. Like, some guy the other day, I was at a meet and greet. Okay, a little bit more than a meet and greet. It was like a singles fucking, party or whatever. And so I went there, and some guy was just like, he was like, after a while, he was like fucking wasted. I was at the bar, and he just like came over, and he started being like really like he like came on to me really strongly. And I'm not even like, whatever, man. Like, I'm not one to be like, don't touch me. Ew, no, I love affection. Like, and I'm grateful for it in any which way. But there's also like what I will accept and what I don't accept, and who's like, it's kind of like when you make a contract. Like, don't make a contract with, you're not like, it's illegal to make contracts with drunk people, right? So whether it be verbal or non-verbal, in case you guys didn't know, it's fucking illegal. Anyhow, just like side note. But like, I used to be a people pleaser, where I used to like want to like talk to this guy because I felt bad, because that I knew the reason why he would get so wasted. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew he would get so wasted because he's intimidated by this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And I would give him the time of day. But at the time, but the other day I was like, oh, you know what? Like, I saw this, and I was like, and I blessed him without, quietly. I blessed him. I said, bless his heart and bless his like soul, and like, I blessed him as if he was water in front of me, because that's basically what I do as a feng shui consultant. I like, literally, it's always on, and I love doing that. And because it actually makes me feel so good, and it's like the way that I give back to the world, and it's my style and everything, and I just go with it. That's who I am. And I was like, but at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? But I don't feel like wasting my time. So I basically was like, hey, I was like, thanks so much for coming over to me. I really appreciate it. I'm just like, I was like, if you want to stick around, that's cool, but I need to go to the bathroom. So I'm going to go, and, if I see you around, I see you around, and like, we'll talk later. And so, and that's how I felt like I wanted to deal with it, because of the fact that what I'm trying to say is, when drama comes your way, you're allowed to be like, okay, I see you from afar. You're now in my fucking space, but at the same time, I'm not going to entertain your ass, because I got something better to do. Or if I don't have something better to do, something better is it's about to like enter my life. Like, that's exactly how I feel. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, I'm grateful for you coming in, but when you're not at my level, in terms of, I wasn't even drinking at that party. So talk about the different levels, right? Just to, the yin and yang levels, where he came over to me. But I understood why he came over to me too, is because, why not fucking come over to me? Because I'm fucking done up and everything, and I'm beautiful, and I exude a gorgeous energy because I work on that shit. But I also, and I maintain that shit, and I also, I show up. Like, I show up for myself as I would for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that in a cocky way. And if you're taking that in that way, that's up to you. But like, it's more so like, why not show up to me? Because I radiate such good energy, and I attract great people. And not to say this guy wasn't, he was actually very good. He like, I felt his essence. He was good. But the thing is, he just didn't know, like, he just didn't know his boundaries. And I think there's boundaries that we need to stick to, and we get to choose where we have our boundaries, and whether or not we choose to be alongside our boundaries. But that also comes with self-growth, and also self-thought and self-taught stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Where it's all pretty huge. Like, you have to be aware of, what it is you want, how it is you want to feel at the end of the day. And I a long time ago, through just a friend who decided to like just be clean about her drinking. I was kind of like thinking about it. I was like, for a little while there, I was like in and out. I was like, I'll allow myself to drink. But then after a while, I was like, you know what? Um, spirituality is a part of my career. It is my career. And if I'm learning so much about drinking and why it's not good for you in terms of spiritually speaking, and why it's even called a spirit, right? Like there's so much interesting, learning about, spirituality. And so, if I'm aware of this now and I feel actually that it is a truth within me, then and if I'm actually at this alignment where I feel strong enough that I can do this now, why not do it? You know what I'm saying? Why not become better for myself, and why not become better for somebody else? Because yeah, at the end of the day, it's clarity for me, but it's clarity for somebody else. Because like I've always said, when you go with your intuition and you're clear headed, you're clear minded, you're whatever clear, you get to hear your path clear, and that impacts and influences so many people on such a bigger scale. And one of the reasons why I told my mom, like my mom got it today of how the internet works, because I was expressing how marketing is just actually really smart. It's such a smart route. It's working smarter. That's what it is. Like online marketing is working smarter. And how happy I've gotten myself into it. And also, it's for the courageous people. It's for the people that are, that allow themselves to go there. And also it's a social butterfly type of networking ordeal that I fucking love too. And where like you could literally be an introvert and an extrovert and an ambivert, and yet you can still find your fucking niche. Like you can still find your people out there. It's amazing. So I was like really excited about this. And then that's when she was like, I understand. Like she's like, so because I was telling her how people can share you, and if they like you, they can share you, they can connect you, and this is why videos are so important. And she was like, oh, she's like, yeah, she goes, because then she's like, they can share to more people, and then those people could share to more people. And she's like, and it's a web. And I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right. That's why it's called the World Wide Web. It's amazing. I was like, it's just so beautiful. So, and what's even more beautiful, I like literally can like talk for hours. So what's more beautiful is how it's like, it just really fucking is beautiful. Because I'm like, what's more beautiful is that you can connect to people. And I had something there, but it went away. Is that you can connect to people. What was it? I don't even know, but there was like two fucking thoughts coming in, which is really interesting, because I've been seeing a lot of fucking spiders lately, and I'm like, dude, what is that? Like, and I'm like, and I feel like, especially like on the ground floor, like when there's like a lot of like movement and there's not stagnant energy, and I don't feel so much, like I do feel a little bit of stagnant energy, because like I personally have been stagnant a little bit, like in terms of just like dealing with, I guess, these incoming or influx of energies. So it's interesting because I've been finding spiders everywhere, and I'm just like, what the fuck, like that's so weird. Like in places like you haven't, like even in my room where I'm like there all the time, and I'm like, and I don't feel like I'm that stagnant of an energy, you know what I'm saying? But like they've been coming out of the woodworks, and I was like thinking to myself, so this just downloaded to me actually as I'm talking to you guys, is like the World Wide Web. It's like a sign that this is why probably spiders have been showing up. You know what I'm saying? Because spiders are creativity. They symbolize creativity. They symbolize their web, right? It's like it's a creation. It's like a silk fucking it's amazing. And so and it's funny because for a while now, spiders really have been my totem animal. So it's been really interesting that came up today, where I was just like, holy shit, talking about how the universe works in magical ways. It's like they're talking about like spiders are magical marketing. You know what I'm saying? Which is amazing. Like it's like they show you how magical marketing can be. And especially today, like I went outside and I was like looking at this web that was created, and I saw like the advancement of it, which is amazing. And so and not so much daily, but like after a couple of days, like what it grew into, and I like looked closer at it, me being like fucking Charlotte's Web over here. I whatever, like I love nature. So I like looked closely at it and I was like, oh my god, I was like, yo, there's like I think there's like spider eggs on it, and I was like, I've never even seen that shit. I didn't even fucking Google it actually to see if it was spider webs or what spider webs look like. I mean, what spider eggs, excuse me, look like in a spider web. But I was like, I assumed because they were like perfectly in a row and they were white, and I'm like, that's probably what it looks like, you know? But it's interesting too, like in terms of how the web becomes also different when they're laying eggs. You know what I'm saying? So it's miraculous. It really is. It's fucking miraculous. Um, which is funny. You know where my mind went just now is like the what is it called when you're I can't remember. Okay, like there's arachnophobia. Oh, I no, that maybe didn't even make sense then because I was thinking arachnophobia and miraculous, how they kind of like the arachno and mirac, I guess, Eulist, like just I can't fucking get it. I thought my mind just connected those two things, so it's just hilarious because you shouldn't have no arachnophobia around fucking marketing. How about that? Because it's really just being you, you know. However, I have to tell you that like me and my brother were talking about it the other day, and he was like, you know, you just have to like know that if you get like negative feedback or criticism or whatever, like how to deal with it in like actually a funny way. Like he even gave me an example of some guy, and I was like, oh, I was like, we were laughing so hard at it because he was like, there's some guy on YouTube, I forgot his name is, I think his name is Cody something, and and Steven was telling me how like somebody called him like a chode, you know, and that's like disgusting. That's such a disgusting guy thing, but like maybe it's not so disgusting. I actually just find it funny. But he was like, so somebody called him a chode. He's like, oh, Cody the chode or whatever, you know. And the guy was like, and so literally what he did was he recreated it, and he calls all of his followers chodesters now. Like I was like, so I was rolling at that. I was like, I didn't even know that, and to me that's so funny because we were just talking about like, you know, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be on YouTube, like I'm just gonna like put myself out there on YouTube or whatever, and he was just like, yo, what are you gonna call your followers? And I was like, I don't fucking know. I was like, I don't, you know, even though I kind of funny enough, like I was thinking about it because I was like, I love being so fun that I'd call you guys toys. Like I'd be like, my toys. I'm playing with my toys today. Like this is just like a different, you know. And so like what, and I'm in and out, right? Because if you think about it, like it's like I'm picking up YouTube as my toy, and when I'm done playing with it, I turn it off and I fucking go somewhere else and I go play. You know what I'm saying? So you guys would be like my toys that I play with. So like my Tina toys, you know. So like that could also be perfectly for, you know, like in terms of like the illuminated muse, in terms of how it has a sexual connotation to it, but like we don't have to go there. It's like whatever, you know. I mean, we can go there. Actually, we might just do that because I have such an interest in terms of, oh man, talk about self-love. Like there's so much involved in that, and there's so much you know, there is sexual connotation in self-love. Like you should be having sexual, like, you know, a sexual arousal towards yourself, if anything, for you to fucking keep on going in this life. Like there's nothing, there ain't nothing wrong with that. So, you know, so I want to be able to, you know, open myself up and go that route also, which it's definitely taking that turn because I love studying about it. And you know, so it's like one of those things. But like, oh, also another thing that I wanted to tell you is that, and this is why I think that it's a really good reflective video for me to give you guys, because like in case you are a quiet person that actually has a message or wants to do these YouTube videos, this is kind of like what I'm going through. And obviously you can see my transition throughout my other videos that like kind of really fucking sucked because like I didn't have a direction. But like literally you don't have to have direction, you don't have to have like anything, you just have to like just show up and like just talk about what you love and talk about, you know, the experiences that you've had in your, like sometimes your experiences end up being more generalized and more open but yet as you're sharing them, they become more narrowed down, and you get to see what the fuck you're actually here for. So, so like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know what the fuck I was saying. Oh, is that so when you show up, don't show up thinking you have to be perfect. Actually, some of the best fucking videos, like I watched the Cody, that guy, I forgot his last name. I don't even fucking know his last name, but I know of him. He's like this guy with like blonde like surfer dude hair, and and he's actually really hilarious, and I really love him because he's so genuine. Like he's just like whatever, and he just like goes and does his thing. Like he shows people how to have fun. I think that's and genuinely like a guy would, like what the fuck ever, we're doing whatever the fuck we want, and it's just he has like really like entertaining videos. So like and not only that, he's not only entertaining, it's even more heartfelt when and more meaningful when actually you're actually being genuine about shit. So that's what I'm saying. Like, just show up like genuinely in your heart space. Like, what do you want to share with the world? You want to share your life. You want to share what you've been through. You want to share like because at the end of the day, it's funny. Like, no one is you're like, and what I've realized too in this video page, I guess, like on this page in this videopreneur community, is no one's actually really judging you. Everybody there is to support you, because that is one of the rules. So not to say that you're gonna get that. Thank you, angels, for the 1 1 1 1 1 across the board up on top of my screen. So it's not that, again, like you have to kind of be tougher. You have to have a thicker skin if you're gonna really share yourself out in the world in terms of just being impactful and an influencer. But the thing is, it's like you don't have to be scared, because again, if you were genuine with yourself in terms of being totally just what is it called, like conditional, like or excuse me, unconditional about your ways, about how you are, about unconditionally loving yourself in terms of just showing up and like whatever, then there's a freedom in yourself that people want to feel out of you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most important part. It's not even about the words. It's not, excuse me, it's not even about, well, you're right. Like the words, yes, it's important because you have to be some sort of mindful about it. Like, like I think if you're gonna fucking, share something, have it be meaningful, have it be positive, have it be of the light, right? Even though I just actually found out too, which is fucking awesome. Like I was reading just last night about this one tarot card, and it was the Princess of Wands, they called it, and in the description was so beautiful. They were saying how it's what the fuck? How did they say it? They said it's basically like the light, and there's still light in the darkness. It's just that it's invisible. And I was like, holy fuck, that is so true. It's like, yo, it makes sense, because it's like that's the unknown. That's where sometimes God is, and so that's where we're kind of afraid of it. But that doesn't even mean that it's like a negative thing. It means that we're just like not shown the way, and or like it's not that we like it's not that we have anything to rely upon. It's just like we're just showing up, and there's a light there when you just show up, and you are the light. So if that makes any sense. Like to me it made sense. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but again, that's to show you that it's my heart that wants to share it with you rather than my words. So again, and it's my energy that wants to share it with you rather than my words. So you're getting something out of that, even with me not knowing how to express myself full throttle about it. Do you get what I'm saying? So again, and this is something that I've commented on other people, because people are very like critical on themselves in terms of, oh, I look like shit this morning, and yet I'm still sharing a video, or like my face isn't looking this good or whatever. And so they're being very self-critical, which is totally against your self-mastery, which is totally against his mastery of you. So it's like, and why would you do that? That's the whole thing. It's like you really have to question, why is it that you're doing it? Is it because you're doing it, the sole reason why? Here's why: because you're afraid that somebody else is going to judge you about how you showed up on fucking camera. Guess what? Doesn't fucking matter. Is how you think, how they think what you are and how you showed the fuck up. Like, that made no sense, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, where it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense for them to judge you because you've actually put yourself out there into the world and you're showing off what God has created. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's literally what it comes down to. It's like God created you. Like, you're not you're not meant to be behind the scenes anymore. Sometimes you are. That's about the yin and yang effect, right? Like, sometimes you feel, you go with what you feel. So sometimes when you're feeling more like, I don't feel like being on camera today, you don't have to be on camera. However, you know what I love to do? I love to get on audio because sometimes I have so much to say, so much to express, and there's different forms of expressing it. So definitely find me on SoundCloud too. Sometimes I have some things posted up on there. Because, like, sometimes I don't even feel like fucking getting dressed or whatever right away, but yet I have an idea that's coming to me and I'm just like, dude, let's share this shit like ASAP. There's inspiration here, and you want to just like get on with it, and you don't want to, first of all, first and second of all, I want to show up in a variety of different ways, right? I want to come at you with all of my senses, and even the invisible senses, which is another reason why I love online, is because I am a fucking self-mastered person at the invisible essence of who I am, right? Which people don't see. But what I love about it is I'm completely aligned with the invisibility, or the visibility rather, of me showing up for you online, where you guys are invisible to me and I'm invisible to you pretty much, because I'm not physically in your face, but I'm like energetically in your face. And and it's beautiful. Like, this is beautiful stuff, and yet this is all working, and this is all you're being, like, through me, you're getting this self-love that I decided to show up for, for God and nature today, because God to me is like masculine and nature is the feminine. So together, which is what happened to me outside in my walk, was two souls, which is God being one, right? The person that just is there with me. Nature, which is I showed up to nature to nurture myself, self-love, right? And two souls, one mind. So it's like I literally brought two souls together. That's why it's so huge when you go on a walk, like, with yourself, on on a nature walk, or I don't know if I just excluded you. Yeah, if you go on a nature walk, I'm gonna have to take this out. This is annoying the shit out of me. Yeah, this is so much better. However, that really did feel fucking good. So, but it's an adjustment. Whatever. We're just gonna have to do this. But also, I feel like sometimes I yell when I'm on the when I have something in my ear, because like I can't, like, I'm just sensitive to it. So this is like me, like, I'm probably gonna come down a notch in my voice, because I can actually, like, balancedly hear myself now. So I get another yin yang, amen. But so yeah, so what I was saying is, like, when you go out on a nature walk, it's fucking beautiful because you literally are balanced in those two things, and that's why everybody is being awakened to that, in terms of being so exposed to it. I was even talking to my mom on my walk today when she called me, and I was like, it's so beautiful. That's why I'm like, this RV living, minimalist living is so beautiful, because you get to literally, let's see how this looks. Fuck it. I'm like, okay, we'll leave it. So, so I was like, literally, we get to like be indoor, outdoor, which is, again, the fucking edge of where I am so optimized and optimal at. You know what I'm saying? I just, like, get so optimized. I get so fucking crunked, dude. Like, when I'm at the edge, I love it. And I love the edge because it's just fucking edgy. I'm just, like, an edgy type of person, in terms of, like, I'm, like, pure at heart, but, like, edgy as fuck on the outside. Like, I just, like, That's like that's my style. Like I never had to even like I don't even think that maybe I will. I'm not gonna limit myself. Like maybe I don't know. I never had this like full on like even with my edginess, I never had this full on like I'm gonna get a tattoo. Like I never had that drive in me. Even with seeing like I don't find anything against it. I just you know what it is. Maybe it's about the self love that I've realized that maybe I don't want to hurt myself too much. You know what I'm saying? Like life kind of already has a way of giving you painful things sometimes where you have to kind of go through it on your own, but I think that's enough for me. Like I just don't I don't need to fucking I don't know, like, but again, that's what I'm saying. I'm open to different experiences, so I'm not going to limit it. I'm not going to say for it or against it, but like thus far I have not gotten one because I just feel like, maybe it's a part of my, journey and not to get one. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, and also like, and I really don't think like I'm just thinking here, like, I don't think yeah, and there's like also stuff to question, like is it your authentic self to get a tattoo, or do you get it because you want to look a certain way, or do you get it because is it like even authentic to you, or do you not get it because you're still a people pleaser to your mom and your dad and they don't want you fucking having tattoos? So it's like I haven't thought those things out yet, and nor have I really like if I get a tattoo, I kind of know where I'm gonna put it and I know what it would be about. But maybe there's a timing to that too. Like maybe I'm not supposed to get it. Maybe I'm supposed to get it. So we'll see. It's all in inspiration. I live my life based off of intuitive inspiration, and I'm not gonna fight it. Like if one day it hits me where I feel like going to get a tattoo, then it's meant to be. If not, then I'm fucking gonna ride it out the way that I have been. Um, it's all about that empowerment, baby. The self mastery is fucking empowerment. Absolutely, it is. And I first of all, I cannot just this is hilarious because like this eye is so dry right now, and I've been going for an hour right now, hour and 20 minutes. It's like, yo, bro, T, you got it. You like because it's pissing me off actually, but yet I'm still like, all right, let's just keep on going. So goes to show you empowerment. There's that empowerment behind like go after what you want no matter fucking what. And it's also part of the reason why I'm kind of keeping going is because of the fact that I don't know if I stop this, I don't know fucking how to continue, and I don't want to post part 1 and part 2 because that's bullshit to me. I like one solid fucking essence, one solid essence. But so yeah, so I think that's basically what it is. Like so again, my brother had a really good he had a really he knew that just like you are in the real world, I feel like you actually have to be even tougher on the inside to honestly deal with other people's commentaries and critiques on the internet, um, because of the fact that people tend to get very courageous in the negative way on the internet, where they think just because they're sitting behind the screen and no one's really out to get them, or they can't get them, or they can't really track them down, that they can fucking say anything. But guess what? It's still energy, and guess what? It's still fucked up, and it's also, guess what, is that shit's gonna come right back to you in either the same way or a different way. So you better watch out. It's like it's kind of like black magic. Like this is why I don't fuck with that shit, because you fuck with that shit and it'll come back to you either in a way that you've never fucking listen. This life is filled with endless possibilities in terms of possibilities galore and infinite, infinite, infinite. So it's like, and I'm talking about in the negative and the positive. So when you fucking give something out, even in your content of your videos, they better be fucking damn good, damn worth it. Put it that way, in the right positive aspect, or don't do it at all. That's my fucking, I mean, and that's 101, literally living like with people is like humanization 101 is do unto others as you would expect others to do for you. I don't know if I fucking butchered that, but literally 101. So so just don't do that shit. Just that's why I like this group so much, because it's like, yeah, just like let a person critique them, don't criticize them. They're two different fucking routes. To critique is to literally just be like, hey, this is what I would change, or and you did a great job about this, but this is what I would change. I actually like the style of how the person running it does it, which I've kind of noticed is she gives a really good, she sandwiches it. So she does a really good Oreo, which is also really great balance, right? But it's a white, it's like a vanilla, it's a vanilla Oreo, put it that way. So, and I would say that I would even keep the white inside and not even turn the negative, into a black, like a kind of, you want to say like reverse, like inversed Oreo. So don't even inverse it, just keep it vanilla. Seriously, keep it vanilla, because the whole thing is, there is, again, challenging news or challenging anything, whether it be a critique or not, is actually a key to opening your thing. So keep it vanilla. So again, she positively gave you one positive feedback. Then she put this, and we're gonna keep it white, vanilla stuffed Oreo, right? So the stuffing of it is white, which is actually kind of like the negative, where this is what you just need to change or to better it. And then she ends it with another positive. So it's like, it's beautiful. It's very aware. It's very uplifting. Keeping it vanilla is fucking all. Not that I'm saying black is any type of bad, because I just explained why black was good. There's still light in it, and we can't exclude that light, even though to our visible eye it looks dark and it looks fucking. Talk about, I even go into fucking racism. I even go into like anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can think of anything, but like that darkness, there's God is still there. God is still, he's just being invisible. Like, he has like an invisible cloak on, and it's just like, that's how we need to see everybody. You know what I'm saying? Even our insides, we're enclosed. Like, yes, we're made of light, but we're enclosed. And if we need, like, a doctor, when it goes into us, like, it needs a fucking light to shine in, because there's a darkness in us. But at the end of the day, that darkness is not a bad darkness. That darkness is just this space that is, that has been untapped into. Do you know what I'm saying? And actually way more so in a spiritual sense, tapped into full throttle, like we're fully spiritual. But the thing is, it's like, no one has ever gone inside of us, or even when you have sex, right? It's like, like, you're not, there's a light in terms of all of you, but when you actually open up, like when a fucking gyno goes into you, it's dark on the inside. Like, there's no like actual, like, oh, let's turn this light on, let's flick this light on. No, it's actually, it's funny that I use that gesture. You gotta love this shit. I love it. But like, the whole thing is, like, that's the darkness, but it's not bad darkness. It's just darkness it's untapped into, it's unrealized, and it's infinite. It comes in so many different forms. It comes in so many different, just fucking variety of stuff, and it's just amazing. This is why this life lights me the fuck up. Like, life lights me the fuck up. Like, I don't even think I need even if I haven't found my purpose, I think it was just this happiness of life. Even if it wasn't happy, like, I just fucking knew that I was gonna get through it. There was just this, that there's always gonna be a light at the end of the tunnel, and when it's gonna show up, it's gonna be damn good after you go through the darkness of what you're not even knowing why the fuck you're even going through this shit. You know what I'm saying? But like, you go through it because it's a part of life, and it's still so fucking beautiful throughout it all. Like, you get to learn so much. So, it's life's learning, man. Learning about life. Like, I love that shit, and I love sharing it, and I love, sharing what I learned from it, and how my perspective from it, and how I connect all of this stuff that I just get. It's just fucking electric. You know what I'm saying? So, I just love it. Talk about, Tesla's free energy, dude. I like literally am Tesla's free energy. I always say, like, I always said to my parents, you have no idea what the fuck you have underneath you. I mean, I have no idea what the fuck I have underneath me. But like, the whole thing is, I know I have something damn good, where it's like, literally, like, there's a Tesla status in here. And I don't know about what, and I don't know in terms of how, but we're about to do it. Like, there's something showing up, that if I just keep applying myself, keep showing up for life and you guys and myself first all the time, and then you guys, and then life itself. I mean, or whatever. It doesn't even fucking matter. Actually, it does kind of matter. It does. I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna say, when I show up for myself, I show up for life, and then I show up for you guys, and then I can teach life. And there is a system to it. You know what I'm saying? So, and our purpose, I think, is to find what exactly about life do we want to, just lifts us up in our passions that we get to fucking teach others, because there's a flow in that. And hence why I feel like, one of my coming into my ownness is literally YouTube, because I get to fucking freely express myself. And and in a passion, you literally get to freely express yourself, which is fucking amazing, because it's like that flow kind of just comes into you, and you're not questioning it. You're just going, you're just creating, you're just like, there's just that power, and I'm just like so blessed to have you guys. So thank you. And full global, humanized love from me to you guys. I always, whenever I pray, whenever I shower, and it's always for myself. It's always for my divine life spiritual partner who comes into play whenever he's meant to. And it's always for my family and friends, humankind, and the world. That's how I pray. And it's always going to be like that. And I'm feeling it, which is so beautiful. And so I know that you guys are going to get this generated energy that life is, that God and nature and life has given me today. And I'm just so grateful for how everything works in this life, that it's just like, it's all so miraculous. It's so beautiful, and there's like a never ending to it, and it's just spritey. It's just fucking filled with so much, as much as adults want to see it in a negative way or whatever, or like, and there's light in that too. It's like I choose to see it in this childlike essence of a way, and I'm never gonna stop. Like, that's how beautiful life is to me. So I'm about to go take this fucking contact out, both contacts, but this one first, because it's fucking pissing me off. Like, I feel like I'm even closed in one eye at this point. So, but whatever, guys. Thank you guys so much for everything. I love you. I'm ending at actually the 1:31 minute, which means so much to me. So, mwah. I love you so much. And yeah, symbolically, it means so much to me. So have a great night and or day wherever you are. And I will see you mañana. All right. Love you. Mwah.